me. The views expressed here mine have no connection to, support of, agreement with any of the host, information, or ads on the station. I don't work for the station. My program just airs here on a daily basis. Welcome to WQCN, The Choice 105.3. That's where you find us. The Mike King Biz Radio Network is ESPN Richmond 106.1, 5 to 7 a.m. And The Choice 105.3, 2 to 3 p.m. You will reach and talk to all of our game-changing partners. That's what we do here. We bring the best and brightest. Today, we got a big deal in the house. We got Ruth Proctor in the house all the way from Carolina. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you guys so much for having me today.
Okay, she is an author, an advocate. She is a serial entrepreneur. And now we've had this conversation on ESPN about serial entrepreneurs, and we'll touch on that in a moment. She's very inspiring. When people say that whether brands work and you can find people, yes, it does. That's how I found her out there, all the way down in Carolina. Okay, we got to get out the way too. She's you're a Delta.
Yes.
Shout out
to the Red.
Shout out to my sister and all the Deltas out there. All right, welcome to the program, man. Now you came totally ready. You're going live right there. Shout out to the folks live. We're at the studio. Minister Foot got us. He's on the wheels of steel. We got my man Michael Johnson in the house. Dr. Danny's up next. We bring rock stars. That's what we do. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. I appreciate you.
All right, so you got an inspiring story. Let's hear it.
Woo, okay, what do I
And
start?
she started off with, woo, you know it's getting ready to come now.
My name is Ruth Proctor, as Mike said, and I am the author of I Survive, You Can Too. It's my self-published autobiography about surviving molestation, domestic violence, while being in foster care and being successful as an entrepreneur for 15 years. So I'm here to continue to push the movement and the brand, and I appreciate you guys so much for having me today.
All right, we talk about, you go through a lot. How do you turn that into, as my mother would say, turn your mess into a message?
Oh, yeah.
How do you do that? There are a lot of people out there hurting these days trying to figure out the next step.
I would definitely say trusting in God. You know, that has definitely been in the forefront of my life every day. I grew up in the church, so that is like my way for sure. I would definitely say positive affirmations, you know, doing things that really fulfill you, pour back into you is very important. I think, you know, a lot of times we focus on the negative things that happen in our life, but I think if you turn that negative into something positive, you can really find your strength. And so that's what I did. I was going through a divorce and I continued to push forward. And no matter what I was dealing with, I just kept hearing God say, you got to finish the book. You got to finish the book. And I had been working on this book for years. And so now here we are at, 10 years, working on this book. And now I'm finally finished in December of 2020. So now I'm continuing to push the book as well as a workbook and a journal coming in the next couple months.
Well, you can't just tell us you got the book. How can people find? Hold the book. Okay, so for all of our friends who are not on, who are on radio, we're sorry, folks. But let's see the book. Okay, there you go. Now, how can people find the book out there?
It's the name of the book is I Survive, You Can Too, and you can find it at www.aruthproctor.com, and you also can find it on amazon.com.
Okay, what's the process for publishing a book? Like, what's that process like?
It was a lot. And I self-published, so I did everything myself. So I did all the, pretty much I paid for everything, all the marketing, my team, everything came from my pocket. So it was definitely a process. First, you got to start writing. I took journal entries. I took, anything that I've ever wrote, and I just poured it into this book. And then I had a editing company line edit and detail edit to make sure it sounded good, because I don't think I'm a writer, okay? But God said I was. So here we are. And then I had another young lady proofread. So I had 3 steps after I wrote the book to really make sure it was good to publish.
All right, on the mic with Mike, Ruth Proctor rocking with me today. She's been on ESPN with me as well. You can, if you'd like to call and talk to this amazing lady, give us a shout, 804-638-3419. We are at the Choice radio station here. Minister Foot is on the wheels of steel helping us out. WQCN, The Choice, 105.3 is where you can find us. All righty, so you are a serial entrepreneur. Let's talk about the businesses that you run.
So I have pretty much, I started off in 2007, 2008. I opened up a salon and spa. And then the pandemic hit in 2008. And so I switched gears. I was already in the mental health field. And so from that point, I started doing mental health, and I was working with my best friend. And from that point, we decided to open up our own mental health agency. And so me and my ex opened up our first mental health agency. And from that point, I just kept on opening up different states and continued to just expound. In 2008, I opened up my nonprofit that caters to foster children and parents that's incarcerated. And so I have continued to expound on that. And we are actually doing a book bag drive this month in Emporia, Virginia, and I'm doing one in North Carolina that I always do, as well as Georgia. So just continuing to expound on the mental health side, especially me being a foster kid. I really truly know what it feels like to not have my parents. So I really, really, my heart goes out to any child that doesn't have their parents that's continuing to just continue to strive as a person.
Alrighty, so you got multiple things going on, and
Yes.
we've had the conversation. I'm like, how you do it? And you said you live by the calendar.
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
I always talk to people about business stuff. Let's talk about the importance of scheduling and keeping things separate. How do you go from business to nonprofit to writing a book to saving the world? All of those things right there.
God.
Oh, and being mom too.
Yes.
We've had the conversation about being mom in the pandemic.
Yes, for sure. It's definitely challenging, and I have my days. I have days where I'm not able to respond to text messages, and I get fussed out by my friends. They're like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "I'm all over the place right now." So definitely my calendar, my Apple Watch. Just really keeping multiple calendars and really just keeping a schedule. That's what really helps me stay on task and keeps me focused.
One of the things that you had talked about as well as I asked you before, who takes care of the caregiver? And because y'all don't know when to stop,
Right.
and somebody has to be there to stop you. So let's talk about caring for the caregiver.
Well, I'm single, so I don't really have, anyone per se take care of me, but I take care of myself. And I believe
So
that God takes care of me.
we're talking about however the caregiver needs to be taken care of, because you need to stop.
Yes, I do. And when I stop, it's mainly when I travel. I try to travel as much as possible. That's my happy place. That's where I recharge, and I come back and I'm ready to, to do even more. So I definitely say I take time for self-care and really pouring back into myself too.
Avery Proctor's with us here, ESP. Oh no, not ESPN. It's the cute. It's the choice. 105.3. So you come to Richmond. What do you come to Richmond and do?
See friends. I have some of my sisters that's in the area. I have some friends in the area, and just hanging out. Meeting new people. I mainly came here today to be on the show.
There you go.
And I have a business in Virginia, so I always got to check on the business while I'm here too.
What's your business in Virginia?
So I have a mental health agency here in Virginia. I have a Franklin office and an Emporia office that provides mental health services for children and adults.
Okay, we're coming out of the pandemic. We ain't even sure if we're coming out of the pandemic. Look like we sliding, we getting dragged back
Right.
into it.
Right.
What's that doing to the mental health of folks out there?
A lot, because clients are used to dealing with crisis all the time, but now you're dealing with everyday people that's dealing with crisis. And let's be clear, clients are everyday people too. So just being mindful that we all go through struggles, we all go through things, but when the pandemic hit, it's like everybody's in a crisis.
Everybody went through it.
It's definitely been a lot, but just switching gears, learning to rebrand the company, letting people know that we're hiring for long term, not for short term. I think that has definitely been very challenging. I think every profession right now is dealing with, getting strong candidates for working and for their jobs and for their businesses. So right now, just really changing gears and learning a new way to advertise and let people know that we're hiring and that we're always accepting referrals is very important.
One of the things I've seen here that there's a dealership, a Midas dealership, $6,000 as a sign-on bonus.
Wow.
Because it's hard to get workers.
Even McDonald's is giving bonuses, so I mean that says a lot.
For sure, for sure.
And he's doing what? Pay here, work today, pay tomorrow. Like we're in a different climate right now.
And it's not just one person; it's
Right.
everybody. It is a whole different mind shift
Right.
on how people are doing business.
Right.
So you go to a number of places talking about business and life and everything. What's the mood on the street? What are business people saying?
Business people are stressed out. Okay. We are stressed to the max, but I think really keeping that head on and remembering that we've been here before. If you've been in business, I've been in business 15 years. We've had highs and lows. You got some years you make money, you do good, and some years you don't, and that's life. So just continuing to push forward no matter what's in front of you.
ESPN. No. 105.3 The Choice. That's where Ruth Proctor is. She's throwing me off. That's what happens. The Mike King Biz Radio Network. We do a lot of things here. This week we've interviewed the mayor, SBA Administrator Garza, as well as Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. I'm just keeping it where I am straight. I'm working on the calendaring as well. So we're here with Michael Johnson is with us right there. See, there he is. Virginia State's finest. Ruth Proctor's with us. We're going to take a break. We'll wait for a moment, and we'll be back on the other side.
Yes. Let's see what everybody's saying.
Hi, this is Dr. Daddy with the Women's Business Center, Richmond, where we are located on the historic campus of Virginia Union University. The Women's Business Center has something in store for the entrepreneur. Whether you're aspiring, surviving, or thriving business owner, our team delivers the most comprehensive and reliable entrepreneurial resources. Join us when we have an opportunity to interview boss ladies who are bossing up all around the greater Richmond area. We'll talk to fire creatives who will share with us how they move to their own rhythm and their own beat. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can put some cash in your pocket on the different segments that are on our radio show. Coming to you weekly on WQCN 105.3 The Choice.
Hi, my name is Aaron Owens, owner of U.S. Pest Control located here in Richmond, Virginia. We are the number one choice for proactive and preventative pest control services. We respond, arrive, explain, and exterminate. The vision of U.S. Pest Control is to improve the quality of life for families and businesses we serve by providing trustworthy and informed pest control services to the greater Central Virginia area. Our mission is to maintain a home environment that feels secure and pest-free for a lifetime. We have a proactive and safe approach to pest extermination that protects your family, pets, gardens, and your home. We promise that our trained employees will always provide an honest, professional, and friendly service. U.S. Pest Control, locally based and family owned since 1991. You can find
up a little bit.
www.uspestcontrolteam.com or contact our
yes, good, so I can.
Yeah,
there you go. You can see that.
0800.
In a world where quality business information is needed, we bring you On the Mic with Mike, the leading social enterprise business show in RVA. Join Mike King on The Mic with Mike showcases how business can help make society better. He discusses tech, culture, innovation, best business practices, and highlighting area nonprofits. Because it is the place where the best and brightest come to chat.
Yeah, let me get did I send you the Biz Marquee one, the new drop that I had?
An affordable price. If we don't have it, allow us to get it.
Let me get Obama and the Jay-Z one.
Women and children. We are here to
and the choir. Let me get the choir too. Let me have a little fun with that.
Hull Street, Richmond, Virginia. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. Come grow with us.
That's what I do. Mike King isn't a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk show. On the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program in the game.
On the Mic with Mike, back better than ever. That's where you find us, The Choice 105.3. You can give us a shot, 804-638-3419. We're here 2 to 3 every day. My show is here 2 to 2:30 on Fridays. There are other days we have my good friends who are on the stations. Well, today with me we have A. Ruth Proctor, author, entrepreneur. She is also motivational speaker, author. She's just doing it all. We're also joined by my man, Michael Johnson. He's in VSU's finest. That's Virginia State for all you folks out there. And so you feel right at home here. So you got Minister Foote right there. He's from Virginia State. Rebecca Mann just left, and all of those. Alrighty, tell us a little bit about what you do, man.
Me? Well, as you said it yourself, I'm a senior at Virginia State University. This is my last semester. Hoping to graduate in December.
Hoping to graduate.
Oh, I know.
Okay, because I'm like, yo.
Not hope, no.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm kind of nervous when you said it that one.
Yeah. Well, also, I'm here to learn about the business of radio and TV production and everything. And I got Mike King here teaching me how this thing works.
Well, we're glad to have him. You know what? He's out there learning the business. So, Ruth, what can you give a young entrepreneur guy out there who's just starting out some words of wisdom from folks who've been down the road a little bit, like, not like you. I mean, you just been down the road just a short ways. I've been way down the road, got a lot of miles. Hopefully they country miles, them Philly street miles, especially them in the North Philly street miles. So all the Philly folks have to understand. Plus we'll double park anywhere.
Exactly.
We will. Okay, so what can you offer to the young man right here?
I would definitely say to stay focused. Don't listen to what your friends say and what other people tell you. Listen to what you say and what your heart says. Definitely hone in on your intuition and the people that's around you that you can really look up to. Having a mentor like Mike is very important. I definitely would say when I was younger, I really didn't have that. I had an aunt that was very supportive and they guided me, but I really didn't have a mentor when I was really like going into the workforce. So definitely having a mentor going into the workforce is very important because they can guide you and help you when it comes to making mistakes. You can skip some of those steps. When you don't have that, you tend to make mistakes, you make business mistakes and all of that. But if you have somebody to guide you, then you can skip those steps. So definitely listening, the older generation are the GOATs, truly learning that wisdom from them and truly listening and not just hearing, but truly listening and taking notes. And definitely write as much down as possible now. I find a lot of the things that I wrote before is still relevant today. And writing those things in the past really helped me to continue to grow as a person. So if I would have really been able to write stuff down from college till now, oh my God, I really would have even more to share in a book with, on being on radio, being, having interviews and stuff like that. I think I would have had a lot of more content because I didn't write. So I would definitely say to write as much as possible, whether it's thoughts, feelings, experiences, write.
Yes, that's very good advice. And I appreciate that a lot.
So, Michael, when you went to state, do you always want to study mass communication? Was that and what is it you want to do with that?
Well, at first, when I went to college, I went to J. Sargent Reynolds to be a engineer, mechanical engineering. Then I took a couple years off because I wasn't really sure what I really wanted to do. And after some thinking, I went back to community college, and I went to transfer to Virginia State University, and I realized that mass communication, like working behind the radio or on television, is my calling. So it really resonated with me, and as you can see right now,
you got it down pat.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's what, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear him on the airways with me here, The Choice. You're also going to hear him on ESPN. We got to shout. We're not going to do that much, so we ain't calling out nobody. We're just leaving that go. So Michael Johnson is here with us. Ruth, we've had the conversation. Now we want to bring it to these folks over here. You do multiple businesses. You started a bunch. I asked you over there over ESPN. Minister Foote, I asked her, I said, can a serial entrepreneur ever put away the foolishness of having a wandering eye? Always looking for that next. Can a serial entrepreneur ever be monogamous? Can you ever just stop? And what did you say?
Pretty much no.
So
always looking for something.
so what you're saying is you said I'm good. I fell in love with this idea.
Mm-hmm.
I love this business. I'm not doing anything else. And a random Thursday, you're walking down the street, and what happens?
You just get an idea, you know. And I'm gonna say, I don't really look for anything. It's more so like it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? Like something jumps out out the sky. Like the other day, I had a meeting with a gentleman that wants to continue to help even the nonprofit. So God put people in our circles for reasons and for seasons, and really honing in on that and paying attention to the people that's in your circle for reasons. So definitely honing in on that part.
Okay, so you had the meeting with the gentleman. He's talking, and what happened when you left?
I was like, "Hey, we on it," and then a whole other business venue, interest happens. So that's being an entrepreneur. Things come to you, people come to you, and you either choose to do it or not. It has to make sense, though, for sure.
All righty, Michael, let me ask you. So when Ruth was here before, she said you write things down. Do you do any journaling? Do you do any writing like that? Let's talk about that.
Well, right now I'm starting to write things down, like my thoughts, what I plan, what's the next plan. Mostly on my iPhone, but I get a notepad to write things down too, like different ways, jot information, memory, everything.
Do you go back and read things when it's over? I don't. Now
I do, just to remember where I started. So
okay.
I know if I finished it, then on to the next one.
On to the next one. The Choice 105.3, that's where you find us. WQCN, The Choice, 804-638-3419. There's some other great programming on here. We have Dr. Danny, who's coming up next. Dr. Danny Gladden Green is over at the Women's Business Center over Virginia Union, doing some big things. This week, she had the SBA administrator. So she was talking to the lady who runs. So for business people, SBA is a big deal. Everyone was talking about the PPP, not the PPE.
Right.
The money for businesses. So she had her. The mayor was there. It's a lot of big things going on. So make sure you check her out. Weekend Wednesdays. We have some new folks. Brunswick Ag and Culture, good friends down in Brunswick County. Candace Dion Braxton is with us as well. We got some new folks who are starting out. Amanda Edie is with us. She is my wordsmith, and she helps us with the writing. So the things, like you said, you have multiple people overlooking. Mike King Biz Radio, that is ESPN Richmond. That is The Choice. Michael is with us. Ruth Proctor. All right, Ruth. So let people know how they can find you again.
Okay, guys. On all social media networks, aruthproctor.com. I'm sorry. On all social media networks, I'm A. Ruth Proctor, and you can follow me on my website at www.aruthproctor.com and on YouTube as Ruth Proctor.
And on top of now the book, let's see.
Yes.
And how can people find the book again?
They can find the book I Survive You Can Too at www.aruthproctor.com. And you can also look for me on books on Amazon.com as well.
That's right. ESPN Richmond. That's where you find me 5 to 7 a.m. 2 to 3 every day. That's me and my partners here on The Choice. Pastor, what else we got going on The Choice that you like to let folks know about? See, I'm doing it the easy way. Before I would talk about the program, and we're like, well, am I talking about the program? I got the man right here.
I know that's right.
Amen. Well, look, thank y'all for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
This is an awesome opportunity to work with Mike King as well, every day from 2 to 3. But I do want to tell you that we have an event that's coming up on August 7th. It's a Project Restore RVA. They are doing wonderful things in the area. We're going to be out there to support their efforts in the community. They're doing a community outreach August 7th, located at 5700 Jefferson Davis North, and that's in Chesterfield 23234. Give a call to 804-965-3314. Now, the cool thing about this is we here at Choice, we work with different partners. So we're teaming up with the Rough Riders on this. Y'all know the Rough Riders.
Okay,
right.
Okay, so we're teaming up with the Rough Riders on this one. We're also teaming up with Cross Country Transportation, and we're donating 60 school bags out to the community, as well as gift cards for Walmart and everything. So come on out, 12 to 3, August 7th. I'm going to be there for a little bit, but I got to get out of there because it's my 22nd anniversary, and this ain't going to have me so long. But come on out, 12 to 3, and we're going to have a blessed time. Back to you, Mike King.
On the mic with Mike, that is here. So thank you, Minister Foote. So we're here, Michael Johnson, Avery Proctor is here as well. So Michael, let's talk about the vision. What's happening with the young people out on the street, man? Let's give the word. So you are gonna have to answer for all the young people. Okay. So act like mom and them ain't listening. Tell us what's happening in the street. What are the streets talking about for young folks?
Well, young folks.
See,
well,
you're the young. No, man, you got to speak for. You're the young folks. Exactly.
Well,
You speaking for every college student out there, man. That's a lot of pressure.
Well, every young person has doing their own thing, especially in the world of social media. They come up with new ways, with new content, putting themselves out there. Yeah, you said it, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, everything.
Yes.
So, and it has its pros and cons.
It definitely
It
does. So which one do you like the best? Social media.
I would say Instagram.
Okay, I was going to say. I thought you were going to say Facebook. I'm like, what are you, the oldest young
Right,
person?
that's definitely,
What you
that's
the-
definitely for the oldest one.
Exactly.
Facebook, yeah,
What
Facebook
you the-
is the generation past.
Right.
Man, that's cold, man.
He said that's cold.
That's cold,
It's true.
man.
Listen,
Exactly, that is true.
on Facebook.
When you're on Facebook, you be like, what are you on Facebook? They be like, That's like that's like telling a young person that you got an Android. They'll be like, I'm sorry.
Right. I don't
Exactly,
care how long,
exactly.
sorry.
Exactly. What else you got? You rocking MySpace as well? No, man, Androids are, no, they're not. All right, so on the mic with Mike, we are here. We're wrapping up now. Avery Proctor is here. I'd like to thank you for coming in. You're going to hear again up
Hey,
on,
Mike, before
yes.
we go, I want to tell this young man, I appreciate you going to Virginia State University.
absolutely.
Whatever you do, graduate, walk down that aisle, never going to be another field like it. I went to school there all 4 terms. I started with Bush 1, I went through Clinton, I went to Bush 2, and I went through Obama, but I graduated.
Listen, you was on that path, that challenge path.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
It's like my mother said, we all didn't come here on the same day. So some of the people you came with, but he walk down the aisle. That's right. Congratulations, my man, right there. We're rocking with Michael. Hey, Ruth, we got to run. We got to make way for There's Dr. Danny in the background. All right, Mike King, Avery Proctor, Michael Johnson. We out. We got to go. Take care now.